Mom's Dinner Club. It's Tiffany here with 4 more meals for you. These 4 meals come from a variety of influence. We've got some Spanish, we've got some Hungarian, and we've got some Indian influence. But they're all basic meals. I've been very Americanized, so they're still mild on the palate, so very family friendly. First of all, our meal 1, we're going to be making some hummus. So this is, like I said, it's an Americanized hummus. It doesn't have the tahini in it. You could add tahini to yours if you'd like, if you want to make it a little bit more authentic. But we're just going to do some canned garbanzo beans that we're going to grind up with the garlic and the lemon to make a cheap, quick hummus. And we're going to serve that hummus on pita bread with grilled chicken. So we're just basically going to have a grilled chicken pita sandwich with the hummus, and then we're going to top that with a little cucumber, tomato, onion salad. And that's going to be served with baked potato wedges. The next meal, we're going to have a little bit of a Hungarian influence in there with goulash. A lot of you probably know goulash from when you were growing up. You might have eaten goulash before. We're just going to do a basic goulash, which is macaroni and the hamburger tomato sauce. And we're going to bake it. The baked goulash is going to be served with just an iceberg lettuce salad. Meal 3, we're going to revisit that hummus. We're going to use some of the same hummus and the same cucumber tomato salad. This time we're doing a plate with it. We're going to garlic saute some shrimp and some eggplant. We're going to serve that with the hummus, the cucumber tomato salad, and just pita bread on the side. So meal 1, we had a sandwich version, a grilled chicken pita. Meal 3 is going to be basically a shrimp dinner plate. Meal 4, we're getting some Spanish influence. We're going to do a Spanish chicken casserole. So we're going to cook off some chicken breast, saute some onions and peppers, and then we're going to throw the chicken back in with some salsa, and we're going to pour all that over Mexican rice, top it with cheddar cheese, and bake the whole thing together. So that's just going to be like a Spanish chicken rice casserole, and that's going to be served with iceberg lettuce, tomato, salsa ranch, and tortilla chips. So that's our 4 meals for bin 21. A couple things you might want to think about. Hummus. You can purchase hummus already made. 1 container should probably have enough in it for both meals. You can buy a container between probably $3 and $5. If you want to just purchase it instead of making your own, feel free to do that. I'm going to make my own. The 2 cans I think will give us a little bit more yield than you would get in 1 container. And we're planning on having the hummus for our lunches and snacks throughout the week. If you just want to purchase it already made, or if you want to purchase the tahini and make a more authentic hummus, you can do that. I will mark the items for the hummus on the website, on the grocery list for hummus. So if you want to purchase your own hummus, you'll know that you don't have to purchase those items. Also, the eggplant for meal 3. If you don't think your family is going to want to eat eggplant, just purchase zucchini squash or yellow squash or any other vegetable that you know that they'll be happy with. Green beans would also be nice, fresh green beans. All that said, I think that's all I got. So I think it's time to start cooking. Meal 1, that's our grilled chicken pitas with hummus, topped with cucumber tomato salad, and served with baked potato wedges. So first thing on this meal, you want to get your baked potato wedges in the oven, and then we'll work on the hummus. The baked potato wedges, you can do 1 per person, or if you have large potatoes, I would figure 1/2 to 3/4 per person, but these potatoes are rather small. This is just out of a bag of russet potatoes, skin on, washed up. I'm going to cut them into 6 pieces. I'm going to toss them in the bowl with olive oil, salt and pepper, dill and paprika, which are also going to be found in the hummus. And I'm also going to put a little bit of celery seed in these. So I'm going to mix those up. I'll get those in the oven baking. I've done these before a couple other times with russet potatoes, with sweet potatoes. So you can put any sort of seasonings on these that you want. Got our potatoes there. Dill, celery seed, paprika, oil, salt and pepper. We'll get these in the oven to bake. 395 for about 25 to 30 minutes till they're golden brown. Next, we're going to work on our hummus. So I've got a couple cans of the garbanzo beans. These are chickpeas, garbanzo beans. I've got a couple of cans of those too, and I've got those strained out. First of all, I'm going to get these grinding up. I'm going to grind them about halfway, and then I'm going to throw in a couple of garlic cloves, 2, 1 per can, The raw garlic can be pretty pungent, so make sure you don't overpower it with garlic. And we're going to get that ground up real fine. And then I'm going to season it up with olive oil, salt and pepper, dill, paprika, and cumin for my spices. And I'm also going to add some fresh squeezed lemon juice in there. So I've got my garbanzo beans slightly chopped. Got two smaller cloves of garlic here. I kind of just already got them cleaned up and rough chopped. Gonna add that in. We're gonna let this puree for a good 3 minutes or so. So our garbanzo beans have gotten about as smooth as they're going to without adding any more liquid in. So I'm gonna start drizzling in our olive oil, our fresh squeezed lemon juice, our spices. You can also add a little bit of water in too. That'll help make it creamy. But first of all, I'm going to get all of the true ingredients in there, and then I'll see if I want to add water or not. It's almost smooth. I'm going to whip it just a little bit longer and give it the final taste test to see if I need to add any more salt or other flavorings to it. All right, so we finished up our hummus. I'm going to dish that up. I've got our chicken. I marinated that in dill and paprika, olive oil, salt, and pepper. Again, a lot of the same ingredients. I'm going to sear it on both sides in the hot skillet and then finish it in the oven because I'm also going to throw the pitas in the oven just to lightly warm up before we make the sandwiches. And also the oven's already on because of the potato wedges. So I was going to cook those on top for a bit and then finish them in the oven. You've seen me do this several times before. So I'm just cooking these all the way through because they're going to be sliced then and then put on top of our sandwiches. I just did 2 full breasts and then some bits and pieces that were in there. Walmart has a big 10-pound bag. It's usually $18 and change. But they do have a lot of bits and pieces sometimes in the bottom. But it's a pretty good deal. So I just pulled 2 breasts out for this, plus some bits and pieces. And that should be plenty for 4 sandwiches or so. You're not going to need a whole chicken breast per sandwich. About 3 to 4 ounces of chicken breast for each sandwich would be fine. So I've got my skillet getting hot for that. Meanwhile, I'm going to dish this up. On this hummus, you know, you can also make some other variations. Again, as I mentioned, you could buy tahini, so you can make a more authentic hummus. I like to throw in black beans in mine. I like to do a southwestern style black bean hummus, and I put cilantro and lime in it instead, and cumin as well. Feel free to experiment on these hummuses, okay? You've seen them in the store, roasted red pepper hummus, pine nut hummus. Feel free to experiment with these. There's all kinds of variations you can do. Next, I'm going to start on our cucumber tomato salad. For the cucumber tomato salad, I'm just going to cut the cucumber in half. Just get rid of the end piece. Just going to cut it on a bias. I've got a half of a tomato here diced. I'm going to julienne a little bit of onion. You can use red or white onion for this. Basically, a third of the onion is for the cucumber tomato salad, a third is for the goulash, and the other third is going to be for the Spanish chicken casserole at the end. So red or white, whichever you prefer, is fine. If you have leftover onions, you could even do a mix of red and white. So I'm going to finish up this salad real quick. I'm going to dress it with a little bit of red wine vinegar, salt, and olive oil, and a little bit of dried dill as well. Those are our cucumber tomato salad made. I'll put that in a clean bowl. And the chicken's almost ready, so I'm going to get some of this pita bread in the oven. I'm going to do 1 per person tonight, and that should leave 2 pitas to cut into pieces for meal 3. So our pita bread has come out of the oven. I sliced up our chicken there. We're going to make our grilled chicken pita now. We got our nice warmed pita bread. Put a scoop of hummus on that. A couple of slices of our chicken. We got our potato wedges. And then we just put a little drizzle of our cucumber tomato salad on top. This right here actually is one of my favorite sandwiches. Just grilled chicken pita with hummus and cucumber tomato salad. On to meal 2. That's our baked goulash. So first of all, I cooked a half a box of elbow macaroni here. I cooked it in olive oil with salt and pepper, and I just cooked that al dente. And in the same pan, I just dumped out the water, and in the same pan, I'm going to start by sauteing my onions and then my ground beef. Now, if you don't want to wait for the pasta to cook and use the same pan, just go ahead and get 2 pans going, one with the pasta and one you can be making the sauce in. You'll have more dishes, but it'll take less time. So I'm going to saute the onions off in olive oil with salt and pepper. And then I'm going to deglaze with a little bit of Worcestershire. And I'm also going to start browning off my ground beef in the same pot. So our hamburger's cooked off. I strained out the excess grease out of that. I'm going to add a can of condensed tomato soup in here. A half cup of milk. And a can of diced tomatoes in tomato juice. I'm going to toss back in our pasta after all this warms up. And then I'm going to lay it out in the casserole, and I'm going to top it with the shred cheddar cheese mix. I'm going to save half this bag for the casserole and meal 4, and half of it is for the goulash. I'm going to top it with the shredded cheddar cheese and some Italian breadcrumbs, and then we'll get it in the oven to bake. And I almost forgot, we're going to season it up with a little bit of paprika and a little bit of dill. And there is our baked goulash. I know it's just goulash, but that looks pretty good. And then while the goulash was baking, I just whipped up a little salad with the iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, and I had a little bit of cucumber left over. Meal 2, baked goulash. Now it's time for meal 3. This is our Mediterranean shrimp plate. So we've got our hummus. Our hummus is already made from meal 1. We have our cucumber, tomato, onion salad made from meal 1. On this one, we just need to get our shrimp and our eggplant sauteing in our garlic marinade, and then we just got to heat up our bread, our pita bread. So you should have two pieces of pita bread left. You can just cut those in half if you want, or you could cut them into 6 pieces like pie shape, so you'd have like 3 triangles per person. However you want to cut your pita bread up. You're just going to lightly warm that in the oven. I've got a bag of shrimp here. Mine are large size. They are peeled and deboned, and they still have the tail on. You can do yours completely peeled, and whatever size too. Usually the smaller ones come completely cleaned, so you can always just do a smaller size shrimp if you like. But I got the large size, and also I'm going to show you how to do this eggplant. I don't know if you've ever worked with eggplant before, so I'm going to show you how to dice up the eggplant. An eggplant goes a long way, so we're probably not actually going to use all of it for this meal, but I will show you how to dice this so you get a nice uniform square dices. I'm just going to saute all this together. You can do your shrimp and your eggplant separately if you would like. I'm just going to toss mine all together. I've got confidence that my daughter's gonna go for the eggplant, so I'm just going to saute it all together. So I've got our skillet getting hot so we can saute all this. I already washed this off, and I've already chopped my garlic. So I'm just going to take the end of this eggplant off, okay? Garbage. Now, what you want to do so you get square pieces, you're just going to cut this into strips. I think we're just going to do half of this eggplant, okay? A little eggplant goes a long way, and there's only 3 of us. Same size here. I'm going to cut these into my strips. As you can see, there's seeds and stuff in here, but it's not like other vegetables where you cut this out. So All this is good. There's no core, there's no nothing in here, okay? All you're doing is you just have to remove this end piece. That's it, okay? Other than that, this is all good to go. I'm gonna make ours rather small because I want these to be basically about 1 inch squares. As you can see, that is plenty of eggplant. So we only used half, so you still have half this eggplant. If you do zucchini or squash, you'll probably want to pick up 2 zucchini or 2 squash to be the equivalent of this much eggplant. So I've got our skillet getting hot. I'm just going to marinate our shrimp first in the garlic oil. I'm going to get it sauteing, and then I'm going to get our eggplant marinating in garlic and oil. And then I'll throw that in, but I'm going to give the shrimp a couple minute head start, okay? So there is meal 3. So we have our garlic sauteed shrimp and eggplant. We had our hummus that we already had made from meal 1. And our cucumber tomato salad that we already had from meal 1. So tonight all we had to do was chop up some garlic, saute the shrimp and the eggplant, and then warm up our pita bread. And like I said, you should have 2 full pita breads left over after meal 1. So you can cut those in half or cut them into wedges, pie-shaped wedges, however you want to do that. Meal 3, our Mediterranean shrimp plate. And now for meal 4. So we're going to get our Spanish chicken casserole going in the oven. So the first thing you want to do for this one is get your Mexican rice cooked off. I just bought this Rice-A-Roni boxed rice. You can also just do plain white rice and flavor it up however you want. With turmeric, can give you a little bit of that yellow coloring. You can put salsa in your white rice if you like, or just buy a box of Spanish style or Mexican rice mix. So the first thing you want to do is get that cooking. Got a skillet here getting hot. I'm going to start searing off my chicken. I've got those marinated in olive oil, salt and pepper, cumin, and paprika. So I'm going to start by getting those browned off on both sides. And then I'll throw in my vegetables. I've got my onions here, julienne. I've got my green peppers here, julienne. Celery. I did a couple ribs of celery. If you don't want to purchase celery because we're not using it anywhere else in this bin, you can opt out of the celery. I've got some garlic. I'm going to throw that all in after the chicken's had a chance to kind of brown on both sides. And then I've got my salsa. Then I'm going to put in there to make my sauce. I'm going to assemble the casserole with the rice on the bottom, the chicken veggie salsa mix. And then like I mentioned, I'm going to top it with the rest of that bag of shredded cheddar cheese. And I'm going to put it all in the bake. The only thing you want to make sure of is before you take it out of the oven that your chicken got cooked all the way through. Your rice should already be cooked and tender when you put it into bake. So just making sure that your chicken's all the way cooked through. You can even check that on the stove before you put it in the casserole. And then when it's going in the oven, all you're doing is just browning your cheese. All right, so let's get started on our rice and chicken. Right, so it's time to assemble our casserole. I got our Mexican rice here. I'm gonna layer that in. Now we're gonna put our chicken in. And also at the end, I did add in a little bit of water to this just so that the salsa wasn't so thick. We got the half bag of our cheese left over. I'm gonna get this in the oven to bake. And meanwhile, I'm gonna mix up salad, the other half of the iceberg, and I'm gonna chop up some tomato to put on that as well. Julienne iceberg tomato salad. And then I'm gonna make a salsa ranch salad dressing to put on top. And this one's complicated, you better write it down. You're gonna add some salsa and some ranch. And that'll be your dressing for your salad. And then of course we've got our chips and our leftover salsa just to finish out the meal. That looks yummy. So this meal looks excellent. Hot Mom's Cantina right here, meal 4. So this one is bin 21. All right, so we started meal 1 with our grilled chicken pita. So we made the cucumber, tomato, onion salad. We made our hummus, and then we grilled off some chicken, and we put that on the pita bread with the hummus, the grilled chicken, and the cucumber tomato salad. And then we just served that with some baked potato wedges. Meal 2, we moved into our Hungarian Baked Goulash. So we've got that casserole there of goulash, the hamburger and the tomato sauce, topped with cheddar cheese, breadcrumbs, baked till golden brown. And then I was going to serve that with a light salad, iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, whatever you have, just a little salad, light salad with that. Meal 3, we moved back to our Mediterranean style food, and we did the garlic sauteed shrimp and eggplant with the cucumber tomato salad, the hummus, and the pita bread. And if you happen to have any potato wedges left over from meal 1, of course you could always reheat those and throw those out for meal 3. And then our last meal, meal 4, was that delicious Spanish chicken and rice casserole, served with the chips salsa, a little salad there as well with some salsa ranch on the side. Got that delicious casserole with the sauteed onions, green peppers, celery, chicken, salsa, Mexican rice. Smothered it in that shredded cheddar cheese and baked it. Some good stuff right there. Again, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe to my YouTube channel, become a member at hotmomsdinnerclub.com. Also, we've got our gift shop up and going. We've got some great gift ideas, clothing, merchandise, or just a membership itself. So some great gift ideas on top of just great items for you as well. hotmomsdinnerclub.com. Been 21. Thanks for joining me.